All right, guys, today we are crunching the numbers. We are getting down to the nitty gritty, right? So today we're going to talk about how I plan to pay off the remainder of my car loan in the next 5 months, which is from August to December. We are getting down to it. So earlier in the year, like when I talked about like paying off my car this year, like it sounded super easy. It sounded like I had all the time in the world. But here we are with only 5 months left to go, right? Today is July something, child. July something, and so I'm counting this starting August, September, October, November, and December. So that's what we're talking about. Over the next 5 months, I need to pay off the remainder of my car loan. So since I've been crunching the numbers, there is a new endeavor that I've decided to embark on to help me reach that goal. So if you keep listening, towards the end, I will let you know like what that new endeavor is. And I'm even willing to hear y'all's opinion about it. And tell me what you think, child. So, but it's exciting for me. I think it'll be a good thing. I've rearranged some things from like, I think what I said last time. You guys are kind of on this journey with me. So if it sounds like I'm saying one thing and then changing my mind later, that's just real life. That's just what's actually happening. So it's not like I'm trying to tell you guys something and then I'm not gonna do it, but I constantly am thinking about like what is the best way for me to achieve this goal. Because not only do I want to pay off my car this year, which would be early for me, I also want to position myself to be able to retire early. And by early, I mean in the next 5 years. I will be 55 in 5 years. I turn 50 next month in August. So that's where we are. So not only do I need to pay off my car loan, it's not just this arbitrary goal that I have. I am working through Dave Ramsey's baby steps. I'm on baby step number 2, which is the debt snowball, and my final debt is my car loan. So that's where we are today. And then next year, hopefully at the start of next year, I can start working on my 6 months of expenses in my savings and build up a fully funded emergency fund. So that's where we are in this process. So I needed to crunch the numbers. It's not gonna be easy. And the numbers I crunched are just numbers based on my paycheck. It doesn't include any extra payment, any extra duty work that I might take. It doesn't include my YouTube money at this point in time. It doesn't include anything outside of my work paycheck at this point. So the last time I updated you guys about my car loan, I owed $6,220.73. So I do have notes here, and because I have numbers on here, I might be like referencing my notes a lot just to make sure I'm giving you guys the right numbers. I am no mathematician, let's be clear. So some of these numbers, y'all be like, where you get that from? Help me. I mean, I can hear. I hear better than I math, so. All right, so the last update was $6,220.73. My July payment is due today, and that payment is $354.92. It's due today. It didn't come out today. It probably won't come out until tomorrow because tomorrow is Monday and today is not a business day. So they'll probably, matter of fact, I'll probably get a notification at 1 o'clock in the morning saying that they deducted it or whatever. So, all right. So this has been a big topic of my channel when I've been talking about my car loan and making payments is the finance charges. So the company that carries my car loan, the company who is responsible for my car loan, it charges me every day for every day that they're carrying my car loan. So in between payments, so between June and July payments, those 30 days in between there, that if I didn't make a payment, they're charging me like a few dollars every day in between. So then when I make my payment, only a portion of that goes to a portion of that is finance charges, and the remainder goes towards the principal. And so even if I pay extra, they're still going to take out their payments between that day and the last time that I paid. You know what I mean? Like, so if in the middle of those 30 days I make a payment, up until then, they're going to still take out their finance charges, and then that's when they put the rest towards the principal. So there's no tell them to put it towards the principal. They will after they take their money off the top. You understand what I mean? So that's this company. I'm not saying every company is like that, but this company, and I actually have a statement here from them that I can read to you so that you kind of understand what it is. So I'm not switching finance companies. I'm not going to the credit union. I'm not doing all that because I see the light at the end of the tunnel. We are almost there. I'm just going to pay it and be done. That's where we are. So yeah. So I just talked about all of that. They're going to deduct their fee. And so this is what the company says. Finance charges are calculated on a daily basis at the annual percentage rate on the outstanding balance of the amount financed. So whatever I owe now, the $6,000, that's what they use to calculate. So as that number goes down, then the finance charges go down, is my understanding. So they have this whole calculation that the finance charges, it'll change, because I remember at one point it was like $5 and something every day. I think now it's down to like $3 and some change that they're charging me every day. So for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to this month, because as of today, like I won't get an updated balance until like Monday or Tuesday. So but because I'm doing this video today, I want to take a stab at what I think the balance will be after they deduct this month's payment, which is July. So tomorrow they will deduct my payment of $354.92. And so this calculation is based on the assumption that it's been 30 days since my last payment. So my finance charges should be $97, which means $257 will be added to the principal, and my balance should go down to $5,962.81. And so for the purpose of planning out the rest of the year for the next 5 months, I'm just going to round that number up to $5,963. So that's the number that we're working with. And so over the next 5 months, I need to be able to pay $5,963 towards my car loan in order to pay it off by the end of this year, which is 25. I brought my water with ice because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of talking. Okay. So if I take $5,963 and I divide that number over the next 5 months, it will roughly be $1,992.60 per month that I need to pay for the car. But in addition to that, just based on this number being $97 this month for finance charges, I'm just going to round that up and add $100 per month for finance charges, right? I like to kind of over plan instead of under plan. So I'm going to add $100 per month for finance charges, and that's based on me only paying every 30 days. So that should put me close to being accurate. So, because math and detailed math and all these hours and numbers and seconds and calculating all that, I'm not great at that, but I can kind of overestimate. And so I'm just going to estimate it $100 and for each month. That means if I add $100, that means every month I need to plan on paying $1,292.60 per month towards my car note. So clearly I've only budgeted $355 every month for my car note, and so that $1,292 is way above that, right? So here's where the planning comes in, right? Because I have to figure out how I'm going to increase my $355 payment to over $1,200, almost $1,300, right? And so I talked about going back to school. And as a sign language interpreter, for me to go back to school and finish my degree, that does not put me in another pay category, right? It doesn't put me in another pay category because I don't have enough years of experience. I think with 15 years of experience would get me into another pay category. But because I'm not that, I don't have 15 years of experience as a sign language interpreter. I only have 5 years, so it wouldn't do me not any good, because obviously going back to school, you do learn, you do pick up skills and things like that. For sign language interpreters here in Illinois, your pay increases typically come with your licensure levels or years of experience. So you guys know that I did go back to take the test to get one of the licenses, the first license, which is the intermediate license. There's an intermediate, advanced, and a master level. So this would get me an additional stipend at work. But if I went back to school, I was going to use it. I was going to get more of a tax break or a tax credit, because as a student, I would be able to get a tax credit and write off the classes that I was able to take, right? I think it's called writing it off, but I would be able to get a student tax credit. And also my job does tuition reimbursement, and I would get the money back that I spent going to school. However, I wouldn't get that until next fall. So if I pay for it out of pocket this fall, I don't get the reimbursement until next fall. Now, somebody did in my comments talk about there should be like some type of a scholarship or grant for educators to go back to school. I am going to look into that, because if that's something I can do, I will do that. However, in the meantime, I've decided pay $2,500 for the fall semester to go back to school, because obviously that money could go towards my car. Instead, I have decided to become a notary public. So I did pay for the notary public course, because here in Illinois, you have to take a course and pass a test in order to become a notary public. And so I did decide to do that, and that cost, let me see, I did put it in here. So that was the new endeavor I was talking about. The cost was $181.96. There's like different packages that include different things. So the package, I bought the highest package. It did include the course, it includes my insurance bond, it includes like the supplies that I would need, different things like that. And so as of today, you have to complete the course in 30 days and pass the test within those 30 days. And so I have 27 more days to complete it. So that's where we are today. So initially, when I talked to you guys about going back to school, I was going to use the money that I earned working summer school. So I did summer school, and then I did a couple of extra duty things during the summer. So that they paid us for that, and so that payment amounted to $2,627.32. That's what I got for my extra duty pay and for summer school. That's what I just got. And so I was going to use $2,500 and be like, well, I'm going to just go back to school with that. But instead of doing that, I decided not to do that. I decided to go ahead and register for the course to become a notary public. I know it's not just like it's just going to happen overnight, but I needed to be able to figure out ways to generate more income so that I can be able to pay my car off in the amount of time that I said I was going to do. Because one thing I'm really good at is having these grandiose ideas and just operating on a wing and a prayer, thinking it's going to happen, just thinking it's going to work itself out. However, I need to be more focused on how am I actually going to position myself to do that, right? God can do it. He can do it, but I also need to be a good steward of the money that I have and position myself for that. You know what I mean? And so once I pass the test, I feel like I want to get experience first. Like I want to get listed in like a listing where people can find a notary. But I think eventually I want to create my own LLC and have my own notary public business, right? Because I figure I can earn money to help me pay off my car, but also position myself to be able to retire in 5 years because I'm setting up a business. Because you guys know that when I say I want to retire in 5 years, it's retiring from like 9 to 5 work. I want to be able to set my own schedule, work when I want to or need to, and then be able to not work when I don't want to, right? And also be able to generate income. I still want to generate income, obviously, because I need to live, but I also want to be comfortable. I want to, like, that's why I'm doing Dave Ramsey's plan. I want to have my 6 months of savings, you know, taken care of. But I figure in 5 years, not only am I working towards extra money to pay off my car, that also will give me extra money to be able to save my 6 months of savings or 6 months of expenses quicker. And also in 5 years, that business could be big, right? I could really be doing a lot with that business where it can maybe get me into a position to where it's paying me more than my 9 to 5 right now. You know, you never know. I know there's a lot of work that goes into running your own LLC and your own business, but I'm not waiting until 55 to start that, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and start now, because you guys know I had a lot of ideas. I was going to do a vending machine. I want to do rental, what do you call it, real estate investment. I still want to do those things, but I feel like this is the least expensive way to get started, like running my own thing, like running my own business right now. And it's something that I can always do. It's also a necessary thing that people need. And so, yeah, so I'll take you guys on that journey with me. I'll let you guys know how it's going. But right now I have probably until the end of, I don't know, I have the next 27 days to take the course, pass the test, get my notary public commission, which is my certificate that legally allows me to be a notary public. So yeah, I'm excited about that journey. So yeah, so I mentioned before that like my degree wouldn't necessarily put me in another pay scale. So that's why I feel like I have time to research any grants or things that are out there for educators. I mean, if I can get the education for free, I'll do that too. I don't mind doing that, right? And then also for the notary public course, it is not a course I can write off. It's not like I can't get like a student tax credit for that because that's considered professional development. It's not considered like a college course. So because got paid from summer school the $2,627, I used $181 of that to pay for the notary public course. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my first installment of $1,292.60 towards my car loan. So I'm going to go ahead and since I have it, I'm going to pay it, right? And so this week I'm going to work on manipulating my budget. If I can start making 2 car payments a month, I would love to do that. Also, some other streams of income that could be purposeful and helpful to that would be, we did just do a new collective bargaining agreement for work. And so if I'm reading it correctly, I should go up $3,000 for the 25-26 school year. And so that'll give me a little extra in my paycheck every month, like twice a month or whatever. It should give me a little extra in my paycheck to be able to work with because my expenses are the same and they'll only get lower obviously I have the car, so that expense is there. But like my expenses are the same. So what I'm trying not to do is like, I'm not trying to let my expenses come up to meet my income, right? So my hope is that I am diligent with my income and a good steward over it, that I'm not like I'm making more money so I can buy more stuff. So I'm trying not to do that, and I'm making a conscious decision like to do that. My grocery money don't have to go up, my gas money doesn't have to increase, like nothing needs to increase. Joy can eat peanut butter and jelly and ramen noodles. I can do it if I have to. So also if I'm consistent with my YouTube channel, I should be able, if I'm consistent, and that's usually at minimum 2 videos a week. If I can do this consistently, I'm hoping to I would love to earn $400 a month. I can tithe and then make an extra car payment. That's what I can do. This one lady I follow, she made like $1,000. Like, I'm just like, she has way more followers than me, so maybe that's why. She has more subscribers than me, so she does make a lot of money. Man, if I could make $1,000 a month on YouTube, I'd be sitting pretty. For sure, that money would pay off my car really quickly. But right now, today is July 13th, and right now as of today, I'm at $196 in my YouTube account but I won't get the payout till next month. So I still have the rest of this month to still earn towards YouTube. But keep in mind, $66 of that is from last month. I didn't meet the threshold last month because I wasn't consistently uploading and things like that. So $66 was from last month, and that remainder up to $196. So what is that, $110? I don't know. Math. Let me do it real quick. So 196 minus 66 equals 130. So I've made $130 so far 13 days into July. So if I can get to 400, that'll be great, because then I can tithe and then the rest of it will go towards my car payment. So that would be great if I could do that every month. So that's another stream of income. And then, yep, I'm getting an increase at the beginning of the year. And so all of these numbers don't include, you guys know I like to work extra at school. I do extra duty. I work volleyball games or basketball games or whatever, but that isn't guaranteed. That's only if I am one of the first people to like jump at the job. So I'm hoping this year that since I always do volleyball or I always do basketball, I'm hoping that they'll just reach out to those of us that normally do it to see if we want it, because otherwise I'll always be thinking I'm missing the emails or whatever. So hopefully they reach out to us who normally do it to see if we want to do it, because then I know, okay, I'll be making money and that money will go towards the car, right? So yeah, so that is my realistic breakdown, as close as possible to how I feel like I'll be able to pay off my car in 5 months. So if you guys have questions, if you have like tips about being a notary or questions or whatever, just let me know. Yeah, hopefully my numbers calculate correctly. Hopefully I will be down to 5,000 and something by the time they take my payment out. And so we're just plugging along, because what I'm really looking forward to is starting my 6 months of expenses. Yeah, so let me know in the comments. Also, I did an interview with a podcast called Victorious Living Solutions with Dr. Nakia Young, and it was called Finances Made Simple, I believe it is, and that'll come out on Wednesday. You'll get that on Wednesday. You'll also get my vlog on Wednesday, but I think that interview will come out in the morning, but I'll definitely make a post and put the link up there. So y'all go watch it. Me and Dr. Nakia are having a time, and so I think y'all will enjoy it. I'm the same over there as I am over here. So, but I think it'll be fun. It's my first ever podcast interview, so that's exciting. So you guys can go and watch that. And Victorious Living Solutions, they're a great resource for entrepreneurs, for business owners, for people like really just want to upgrade their life. I think they have great videos there for anything really that you're kind of facing. They have videos for that. And by they, I mean Dr. Nakia Young and her husband Rodney. He's the producer, but sometimes he does an episode or two with her. So they're really good. It's a great time. And so hopefully you guys are around for that. Make sure you not only watch the video, but subscribe to Victorious Living Solutions. I think they'll be excited about that. But yeah, so it's been a good, productive week for me. I've done a lot this week. Yeah, that first podcast was exciting. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. But hopefully this video made sense. Hopefully I didn't like mush everything together. But if you have questions, let me know and we can chop it up next time.